I wanted to play 24 hours of Lego Fortnite to explore, build, and fight everything that this game had to offer. And this is how it went, starting at the beginning with day 1, hour 0. With this being a new game for me, I spent the majority of my start just talking to this girl, picking up what I could off the ground, and getting a simple shack up and rolling. And just as the night came, so did skeletons. But I had a torch crafted up to fight them with. Whoop, and there it goes. I totally could have finished them off too, but my lady friend stepped in before they got a taste of my true power. This time they got lucky. I went on to mine my first rock, or pick up a rock. I played Ring Around the Rosie with a wolf and followed this shiny thing back to a llama, who rewarded me after touching it for a while. Some chickens did scramble on over to steal some of my loot, but I didn't really mind. I visited some open houses in the area, went to social gatherings, and built my village square, which would become the foundation of everything else going forward. And right away I got my very first visitor, Beef Boss. To convince him to live in my town, I excitedly upgraded my village, built a hut, and placed a bed. And when I finally went to go tell him the good news, he was gone. It was a lonely night. Someone else did arrive trying to fill his absence, but I said no. Instead, I returned to collecting resources to build my first sword, and then went to prove my dominance in the area. And someone must have been impressed, because Arby's is back in town, and this time he's here to stay for good. As he works on whatever he's doing back there, I started to grow a farm, which quickly brought in my second recruit. And then 1 shield and 2 health charms later, I can say things were looking real good. I started to explore further out into the world around me, both watching enemies fight each other as well as occasionally joining in on the fun. What I was really after though was a cave, which I finally found off in the distance and entered in to find skeletons with clothes, which, I mean, that's a big deal. But there were also a bunch of new resources there, however I couldn't mine them. Nothing a quick trip home can't fix though, and once back in, I started to go ham on the place. Skeletons were getting domed, and wood was getting chopped. 112 wood to be exact, which meant it was time for upgrades. Upgrades fit for a man. I only say that because my skin changed. I don't know how or why, but I'm rolling with it. While collecting stones back in the cave, I decided I was tired of smacking stuff, so I switched gears to building. I wasn't sure what I was going for here, and I was actually a bit worried that my build would look stupid without a good plan in mind. However, after admiring my work from afar, I knew I was right. It was so bad. I switched to stone, which made it way worse, and I just ended up finishing my big block and moving to something new. A custom-built log cabin. Now, could I have just built one of the preset log cabins to save time and sanity, while also looking way better? Yeah, but I didn't. I was happy with it though, and returned to spice up my platform as well as move my machinery over here and use it as my new workspace. I proceeded to clean out trash laying around in my yard, as well as smack up this big monster who thinks he's top dog. Which he totally is, by the way. I never said he wasn't. And back in the comfort of my own home, I met this cat fella who seemed like the perfect fit for my village. Man, I wish I was that cool. After talking with him though, I realized I didn't actually have enough space in my village for them to stay, which meant someone had to go. The answer was easy. I don't even remember inviting Sparkplug to stay here, so I destroyed her bed, but she just stole another. I tried to reason with her, but she wasn't budging. I broke it again, and again, until there was nothing left. Oh, come on! Alright, new plan. I'm gonna kill her. Now, unfortunately, I can't just do that, but what I can do is have her come with me into the wild, and this is where I plan to have enemies do my bidding for me. The surrounding area is actually pretty easy though, and she's quite good at fighting, so I'm gonna need somewhere more dangerous. The desert, a brand new biome with tougher beasts, so while she's busy getting mauled, I can just sit back and relax. The plan backfired. But the desert was still a good find, so I returned to explore. There was a new mineral and a party in the sky. Everyone was dancing, having a good time, so I figured I'd join in. Oh, I wonder why they're all leaving. I doubt it has anything to do with me. I collected more resources as you do, and was beginning to lose hope Sparkplug would ever die. And then, it was beautiful. I was so excited to tell Meowscles, I ran home right away. He was gonna be so overjoyed with... He's gonna be... What? I continued back home and vented about the situation to Burger King. I think he understood. I went back to the desert alone to encourage street fighting to get their resources without getting my hands dirty, and I found a hot cave, which meant, well, it was time for upgrades. While back home, I also figured I'd add some more life into my cabin build. Sadly though, there's only so much time that I can spend relaxing at home. The desert was calling my name, and this new cave that I found was in need of exploring. The skeletons here wore more clothes than ever, and the resources were yet again unbreakable with my current tools. Even the cactus won't break. Well, not with my axe at least. While back in my base crafting up the new generation of tools, I figured I'd start one of the preset cabin builds to fill some empty space in my village. And then of course I returned back to the red rocks to properly cut down cacti and mine my new discovery. I carefully ventured deeper into the cave and ran back home to store my goodies. I worked some more on the cabin and celebrated the upgrading of my village with all my friends, some of whom showed up a tad bit late. It's the effort that counts. The cabin was complete and looking good. And the next thing I crafted was a game changer, the glider. This would forever change how I maneuver around the map, and I loved it. I also crafted something called the grappler, but I completely forgot about it and never used the thing. I tied up some loose ends around, such as constructing a wall, designating my new cabin as Beef Manor, and then flew back out to the lava cave, where fear of my new flying capabilities was leading to skeletons blowing themselves up. I don't blame them, but I do wish that they kept their explosives to themselves. I never asked for any of it. On the bright side, when I respawned, Meowsicles was there waiting for me, and I was finally able to take him in. I couldn't spend too much time chatting though, as I had to retrieve my stuff, collect more rubies, and diligently map out pathways to cross large lava pools that are otherwise impassable. Some would call me a genius. I think. No one's actually said it to me, but I'm pretty sure someone's out there. On my way home, I crossed paths with another big beast, who I once again took on. Who am I kidding? No, I didn't. I peeled out of there so fast, which is a bad transition into my favorite character, Peely. And I was so pumped to have him live here, and he said no, which is just so bananas. He would soon change his mind though, for I had a plan to build a new storage area to appear more professional and organized than I actually am. To do this though, I needed wood, and lots of it. I chased down every log that I found, and even when this guy got in my way, I continued to collect what I could. At least until I lost my patience, and then I decided once and for all I should probably kill this guy. It was actually pretty easy. After one final pumpkin, I was victorious. With my wood ready to go, I began working on a new addition to my original block. Progress was slow, the windows were misaligned, and technically there's a massive gap in the roof, but at least I can call it mine. All that was left was to transfer loads of materials on over to the new building, and I was done. And to give you an idea of how long this took, just look at how many bones are in my yard from the skeletons who died during the build. I celebrated by basking in front of my village square, which had gained the power of 1,000 suns, and soon after I went to build an easy watchtower with leftover wood that I had. I upgraded to the max level, discovered my entire population has been hiding inside of my house. I don't want to know. I added a cool door to finish off my wall, and then headed to the mountains. Or tried to, but it still said I was cold. Son of a gun, I thought the one charm that I had would be enough to let me over there, but it turns out I had to run another 10 minutes back to the desert to mine more stone. And I forgot my pickaxe. You have no idea how much time I spent in this stupid cave, but I guess it was all worth it, because at last I had all 3 charms equipped, and I was ready for a ski trip. I started off strong with a triple kill, but maybe too strong because the game glitched out and threw me under the bus on the next one. Found a new cave, this time it's small and icy, killed this skeleton dog who kept looking at me funny, and used his newly found resources to upgrade my workstation, which must have made me look real cool because Banana Split here was back and willing to join the party. I put him in the bed next to mine, built a small cabin, accidentally destroyed my rock, which made me sad, and planted more, well, plants. And nearly got struck by lightning in the process. That would have been bad. And as I finished up my new garden, the crops kept breaking themselves, which drove me crazy, and this chicken had the guts to laugh at me for it. I took care of him, and I finally crafted my first epic item. Speaking of epic, if you happen to play this game or anything else on the Epic Store, please toss my creator code Minnow stream into the creator code box. Honestly, I don't know what it does, but I see other YouTubers say this and I'm trying to blend in, so help a friend out, will ya? Also subscribe, what are you doing? Anyways, I actually broke a hole in my floor and discovered someone has been living down there. I waited for them to come out, but I think they prefer it there. I beefed up my new axe, works like a charm by the way, and kitted myself out with a new pickaxe and sword, also enchanted, which meant that I was finally able to mine the very last item on my list. This blue crystal. And that pretty much marks off all the essentials, so I relaxed a bit, building a balcony type of thing with a social area down below. I watched Sparkplug be stupid from afar, finally killed one of the dudes for real, and began messing around with engines. The car was cool, but I couldn't get it to turn, and my platform floated away without me. Aw man. I eventually got it back down and took it for a spin. It was actually pretty great until it broke, leaving me stranded in the wilderness. That's fine, who wants a cool flying machine anyways? Not me. And with nothing much else to do, I had a talk with Beef Boss, and he agreed to join me for something special. As he was my very first friend, I wanted to genuinely thank him for everything he's done. It's been a fantastic 24-hour journey, and I couldn't have done it without him. But he's nothing compared to Peely. Alright, well, thanks for watching, and if you like this video, I make others just like it, so check those out. Also, click all the buttons down below, use my creator code, and enjoy your day. Alright, now scram.